Well, what do you want to talk about?
I feel like we should talk about something positive, but I kind of want to talk about this terrible episode of AEW Dynamite we just finished watching.
Let me tell you how poor that episode is. Like, legitimately, your biggest rival has their biggest week, their biggest numbers, and you come back with a show like that.
I think it may be the single worst episode of AEW Dynamite I've ever seen. If not by quality, just by the sheer embarrassment. I hated it.
They spent about 3 segments strictly focusing on stuff happening in WWE.
In a row.
Not just like, but in a row. Like, that's disgusting.
Terrible work.
I feel like nothing really got advanced in terms of stories.
It did nothing for anybody. People aren't going to come back next week. I don't think any of this is going to pop $1 million for AEW. So
that was going to be my question towards you. Like, is this going to pop $1 million? Probably not. Right? Yeah, man. The AEW's in the gutter, bro.
They're in a bad way.
With this, they bring back the ranking system too, but now people are just jumping the ranking system.
The new signings are just jumping the line.
What needs to change? I know a couple months ago we did a state of the art with talking about strictly AEW. What needs to change? Like, there's a misconnection.
A mission statement. I think the company is lacking a clear vision right now. I think that's kind of what they struggled with before.
Okay.
The thing is, they had numerous visions at the time. They had the vision of Tony Khan, they had the visions of the Bucks, and they had the visions of Cody Rhodes. And they all kind of existed on their own island. I think that's what brought us Cody Island. Right now, the show just seems to completely be missing a vision. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know what they're trying to do. They don't know what their goal is. I see videos of them just copying the one-shot thing that WWE is doing now with Monday Night Raw. They're starting to do, like, they start from the stage and they like come to the ringside area, the way WWE production has been doing lately. And it's a beautiful shot. But to do that right now makes it completely clear that you're just ripping off what WWE is doing.
Also, with that, it looks better for WWE, in my opinion. And I hate to say it, but more so because the stadium, the arena, is completely packed.
It's full.
When I see it on the AEW show, like, I see the black curtains, and I see that you have the upper level blocked off.
The crowd isn't well lit because they don't want to show how empty their arenas are. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look as good.
I mean, production-wise, just in terms of looking at AEW, like, I don't think it's a show that drags me to be like, oh, just from a camera point of view, I would like to watch this. You know what I mean?
You said something even earlier tonight when we were watching Dynamite that no one in AEW has aura.
Oh, God.
And I think something like that is due to its camera work. I feel like no one looks special. I feel like AEW is very static the way a lot of it is shot.
Okay.
And I think it kind of brings a little sameness. So no matter who's brought into AEW, they all kind of just feel like another member of the roster. I feel like there's a common complaint you hear about someone like an Adam Copeland or like anybody else that comes in. After not too long, just like another member of the roster. I feel like how it's shot and how people are visually engaging with these wrestlers has a lot to do with that.
I totally agree. I think, in my opinion, Okada is auraless right now.
And that's Okada. That is the Rainmaker.
Swerve has lost his aura to me, and I don't know if it's because like he's lost these matches that just for the title, and now we're getting the singles 1-on-1, which they are going to crown him, and I'm saying it right now at Dynasty in 2 weeks. They will crown Swerve as the first black AEW champion. And if they don't...
Is that More Fire, More Flames? Is that some kind of bold prediction?
I don't think it's that bold. I think it's a necessity.
A necessity, is it? Okay.
They have to do it.
Okay.
They had to do it. But I don't know where they go with from there. You know who I didn't see on the show tonight?
Who?
Undisputed Kingdom.
You
Not
know what's funny?
one bit from a single person from that group.
You know what's so funny? Didn't even notice. I did not notice.
I'm just saying. There's a lot of things happening on AEW, and not all positive. Like,
I think grand scheme, something AEW is missing is a long-term plan for the company as a whole. And I feel like there needs to be a lot of follow-through, and there needs to be things that make a lot more sense with everything that's happening in AEW. The reason why the Undisputed Kingdom fell completely flat is because the big story with them was supposed to be Wardlow.
right.
Him taking the world championship, their build. They came out the gate teasing that dissension between Adam Cole and Wardlow. Adam Cole would say, like, oh, when Wardlow wins the world championship and gives it to me, we're going to live all happily ever after. Wardlow would make his little faces, he'd roll his eyes and stuff like that. And within, weeks, maybe a month or two, Wardlow's facing for the championship on
Dynamite.
what is an important Dynamite for Mercedes Moné, but is a throwaway Dynamite for him.
For everybody else.
For everybody else, and loses. And hasn't done anything since. What was the plan there? What was the idea? What was the long-term booking going with something like that? They need long-term planning. I feel like weekly they're just flying by the seat of their pants, and
that's what we're getting.
yes, and that's
On
what's
TV.
reflecting in the feel for the show. It's hard to care. It's reflecting in the ratings. They're not cracking 1 million at all. It's a shame.
It is a shame. I want AEW to succeed because I definitely feel like it helps the business. It helps other wrestlers also. It also gives leverage to wrestlers.
It does. I'm so terrified of them just being WCW and eventually burning out. And you see it on Tony Schiavone's face even tonight. He looks like exasperated and just tired because he's been here before.
He has. That 2000s Nitro was WCW time. Was not a fun time.
He's lived through all of that. It must be scary for him.
And I know he has to see.
I'm sure he does.
The similarities.
I'm sure he does. He's not a dumb guy. I'm sure he sees it.
And I'm sure, like Tony spoke about it before when they first started the company. But now he's falling into those same traps that WCW fell into. You're going to overpay some people. You can't pay everybody. You're going to let some people go, or you're not going to let some people go. And you're also going to make some really bad decisions. And to me, I kind of want to equate this moment to a very interesting moment in WCW.
Okay.
Eric Bischoff went on and said, hey, Mick Foley's winning the WWE champion. This specific title.
That specific title. Look just like it.
Just like this. Mick Foley's going to go win that tonight, but who wants to see that? That moment right there, to me, was the beginning of the end of WCW.
Yeah, it was.
This moment right here for AEW, to me, can play in the same exact way.
It has that feel, unfortunately. And I hope it's not, but it has that feel.
Hey, he's not here. He's not on the show, but let me show you this. Now, what you showed me from the video was everything CM Punk said.
Yeah.
So you gave free publicity to the other company, to somebody who's not on your show. He's also drawing 2.5, 3 million viewers for his segments.
Let me add to that. 2 parties that aren't on your show. Because Jack Perry, it's not like he's on AEW
He's not on the
television.
show, but
He may be a contracted superstar. He's not. It's contracted
they
wrestler,
keep-
not say
they-
superstar.
right.
But he's not on AEW television.
But they keep promoting him. He'll be back, and my prediction is he's going to join the Elite. Whatever. We see it happening. He's already part of... is he a part of House of Torture?
I don't remember the name of the faction. You may be correct though. I know he's some.
They're a offshoot of the Bullet Club. They're just another section of the Bullet Club.
Okay.
And there's your connection between, you know, the Young Bucks, the Bullet Club, House of Torture, all this stuff. This was just a foolish move by AEW, and like I said, it's giving that moment of I can start seeing the writing of this is the true downfall, and I don't know how you're gonna climb back up from this.
I feel like it's at a point. My apologies for yawning. I'm just really tired.
It's late.
But I feel like it's not at a point yet where it's just too late. I don't think they're so far gone where they're a lost cause. It's nothing like that, but I just don't see themselves pulling themselves out. You can see even like with the rah-rah speech that Adam Copeland came out with last week, that I don't think they're currently in a position now where they see that there's issues that need to be fixed. It seems like they think they're doing well right now. Like it's all this is where the best wrestle. Oh, this is where you have to come here. And if you truly love wrestling and you want to be like the alternative. I don't think they see what they do as anything wrong. So they don't see it as anything to fix.
Like, there's so many glaring similarities. It's just fucking with me. Like, WCW where the big boys play. AEW where the best wrestlers.
I don't know how this happens. I don't know how this keeps happening.
I think you just eventually stop fucking with WWE and focus on your own product. I think that's where the focus needs to be. And stop worrying what's going on over there.
The thing is, with me, I don't even really hate the occasional jab.
No,
I kind of like
love
a little bit.
competition.
Yeah, I like the competition. I like a little bit of like the little bit of pettiness that you could throw, like a little bit of a jab, like here at the competition here and there. But when you let it like just completely overtake your identity, that's when it's lost. That's when you lose something. That's when you're just the competition.
I agree. Well, man, that was a cold intro into the pod. Let me say something. My name is DJ of the 3D Wrestling Podcast.
My name is Derek.
Obviously, we just got right into this AEW situation because there was just a whole episode we just watched and it wasn't too good. But, Derek, this is a couple of days following WrestleMania. We were in Philly for Mania weekend.
We were.
How was your weekend? Did you enjoy it, man?
Yes, one of my favorite weekends as a wrestling fan, just in general. I had so much fun. The people we met, the shows that we saw, it was just a blast. For anybody who's never been to a WrestleMania weekend, I cannot recommend it enough. It's a dream. It really is.
Shout out to Philly.
Shout out to Philly.
They have,
when they call themselves the city of brotherly love, they mean it. Some of the nicest people I have ever met.
I felt it.
You really feel it.
There's a lot of good brothers out there, man.
Absolutely.
A lot of good brothers. A lot of two sweets going on.
How did you feel about the weekend in Philly?
What a great time. What a great time. From Wale Mania Thursday night all the way to Stand and Deliver. Being in the parking lot for Mania.
Tailgating that people were doing.
Yeah, like, overall, too, like, it was just... Like WWE World, how can I forget WWE World?
Oh,
I had a great time. Talked to so many great people. We have interviews up on our Instagram and on TikTok, so you can follow those and watch those there because it was just an amazing time. And the big story coming out of it is that the story has been completed.
Yeah.
Cody achieved the boyhood dream. Winning the title that his father didn't. Going into what we're calling the Renaissance era or the new era of WWE. Cody is the head man. The guy leading the company, leading the charge. I used to pray for times like this. How was Mania? Did you enjoy Mania? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Night 1 and night 2.
I enjoyed Mania. I enjoyed it a lot. It was really fun. First and foremost, I will have to say I did think last year's was a bit better.
Really?
Yeah, as a show.
Overall
as a show,
Okay.
I did think the previous years had a little bit more going on and was a bit better. But I will go as far to say that Night 2's main event may go down as the single greatest WrestleMania main event of all time.
Wow.
And it may not have been like a ring classic in terms of like technical prowess or anything like that, but when it came down to story, when it came down to drama, when it came down to intrigue, when it came down to excitement, action, all of that good stuff. We use this word a lot when talking about wrestling. It was cinema.
It was cinema. It was a movie.
It was a movie. We compare it to like something like Avengers Endgame with all that came with all the people that show up, all the cameos, all the action, but it really did feel like that.
Let's talk about that main event. Because from the entrances alone, it felt epic.
Yeah.
Cody with the mask, I thought was dope.
Emerging from the wasteland,
Right.
and all his flags planted.
I want to talk about Roman's entrance. Because you mentioned it while we were watching. That this isn't a normal entrance.
It wasn't.
This entrance was scored like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
And it really played a part into what we were getting into in that main event.
It was, I believe the words I used was like orchestral epic.
Yes.
You heard opera singing. You heard every instrument being
You
played.
hear the strings. You hear, oh God, man.
It was powerful.
It was great.
It was powerful.
It was great. So, just from the entrances alone, awesome. Shout out to Brandy. She got a pop that really, and she went on Twitter and said, like, you guys really don't know how much that meant to me. And it's been some speculation over the last few years, but I think the personal issue that Cody had was dealing with Brandy.
I do believe so too. When it came to his departure from AEW, him and Brandy's, I believe had something to do with Brandy.
So that really, obviously she said it, but that really felt good for her, and I'm happy she got that moment.
That's mine.
But the match, even the match alone, like the way it started off was very technical, headlocks. Like it's Bloodline rules, but they said we gonna wrestle first.
Yeah,
we gonna get into it.
It was rather interesting to see that the match started with just.
Right, not just
Roman and Paul.
Straight shenanigans. One of my favorite things about this is callbacks to different moments in time. For me, and I kept saying it, that match, especially that last 5 minutes, was a callback to every era prior to moving into this new era.
Yes.
Your Ruthless Aggression stars, your Attitude Era stars. Taker kind of borders that line of the Golden Era and the Attitude Era.
Yeah, and even the new generation, he kind of transcends a lot of eras,
yeah. So there's that, and then you have the man who's been the face of the company for the last 10 years in Roman Reigns, kind of passing this torch on to Cody. And I don't know if you've seen it in the chat, but John Cena went on and they quoted his interview, and where he told Cody, "Hey, while in that moment, do you feel that talking about the title? Do you feel how heavy it is?" And then tells him it's only going to get heavier. To me, like that's another moment where the torch has been passed, right?
That's a very powerful sentiment, yeah.
And then Roman is very, very, and I don't think he gets enough flowers for this. He's given a lot of big moments to a lot of people, especially at Mania. Seth at 31, right? You can hear Seth, if you listen closely, say thank you. And then Cody here, when he goes and pins Roman, Roman smiles. And it's just one of those things, like, he gets it. Mm-hmm. He knows that this business is big and is built on moments. And he's been a part of a lot of them. And he's done a hell of a job. And that title reign, whether you want to complain about how long it was or how many defenses he's had, the scheduling does not matter. That is one of the best title reigns we've ever seen from any competitor.
Absolutely.
In the industry. So, I mean, that main event to me was a highlight. But I want to talk about a low light within the same family.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Man, going into this, I think Jimmy and Jay had a really great story to tell.
One of the strongest heading into the show.
The match didn't deliver.
It did not. Even their promo package leading into the match, the whole theme of "Am I my brother's keeper" was a tremendous video package. It was powerful. They were using their real names. Heading to the match, I was hyped. I was excited. It felt strong. And then that match was... I hate to say it because it almost sounds like a bit of hyperbole. I'd call it the worst match of the weekend.
I'm definitely gonna have to go with that. I think out of the Mania card, every match delivered.
Yeah.
Every match delivered. Except for that.
Except that one. And it's almost like mind-boggling to think, but yeah.
Like, and I understand, like, they have the same move set, so it's like seeing, 1A, 1B, like, going back and forth. But there's a way I felt like they could have played that up.
Yeah.
And it was just a miss. I don't know, man. And that's disappointing because, like, Jay, these last 4 years, has, like, elevated himself to be, a force and be that guy.
Yeah.
But that moment right there between his brother, I don't know, it was just like...
It did not hit.
It did not hit.
But what did hit, I will say, is the Intercontinental Championship match that we got. Sami Zayn versus Gunther. And if you saw my prediction, the match went a little bit longer than I thought it would. Didn't go 18 seconds.
You did say that.
And I may have not gotten the winner correctly, but I did still enjoy the match. Thought it was tremendous. And I want to ask you, what did you think of the Intercontinental Championship match? We have a new champion.
I like the outcome. A part of me really wanted Gunther to keep it.
Okay.
But the match was good, man.
That was good.
I think anytime, and as someone mentioned it, like, anytime you see Gunther, you're expecting to have a good match, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's Raw, a house show, or a PLE. Like, you're expecting to have a great match, and it's hard to live up to that. Sammy might have said that himself. But that match was really good. And the story they told of Sammy overcoming and literally being the second person ever to pin Gunther.
Yeah.
Third person. Ilya beat him for the title.
Braun
The
Breaker.
UK. Braun and now Sammy. That's crazy.
He even stole a move from El Generico.
Yes, he sure did. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
That brain buster on the turnbuckle. I was not expecting that. That was a shock. Tremendous.
We're truly in a new era.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that Intercontinental title match was great.
And also, something that really impressed me going into WrestleMania was the opening match. Like, opening the entire show. Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch.
What a great match.
Before we even get into the match...
You know who had a great weekend?
Who?
The Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day.
They sure did.
Before we even get into their match, just the entrance. Rhea Ripley's so cool.
We've been saying this for a minute. Presentation is key.
Yes.
I like Becky's attire, right? Entrance is cool. Rhea with the band, and she just fits it so well.
Because apparently that's like her favorite band. They match her swag when it came to
Everything, yo.
Motionless in White. Shout out to them. Like, it just looked tremendous. It was such a great presentation. We can even just jump over to night 2 if you want. I don't want. As a matter of fact, let me not just jump into what happened, because I want to talk about the opening match on night 2, the World Heavyweight Championship match.
Drew McIntyre may be doing the absolute best work I've seen anybody ever do. Tweeting in the middle of the match is tremendous.
That was very clever. That I didn't expect. I didn't see him doing anything like that, but that was very clever. That was one of the great spots of the night.
That was so good. Their entrances, both were dope.
Oh, tremendous.
Seth, talk about camp. Seth is the definition of camp.
Absolutely.
Like, over the top.
Yeah.
Extravagant. Just sometimes doing too much, but in the right way.
I adored it, yeah.
I thought it was great. I liked Drew's Braveheart. You know, everything with the swords coming down. Kind of like being knighted in a sense. And the match was fun. I liked the opening of the match that Drew just came out with a Claymore.
Yeah.
Just right out the bat. Boom. Almost caught me by surprise. I thought we were getting a quick Seth. I really thought that's what we were getting to. I was so nervous. Yeah, man. And then they have a good match. I don't know if Seth is actually hurt. He was playing up that knee. And he did a really good job with that.
From all his look and everything, he looks pretty hurt. His eye was messed up. He was limping. Like, he looked pretty beat up.
Yeah, but
tonight was a cautionary tale. This is what happens when hating goes wrong.
Buddy.
When hating too much, it comes back to you.
You know what? Maybe people should stop hating on CM Punk.
Yeah.
It seems to bite them. It seems to bite them.
Getting in CM Punk's face doesn't end well.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Drew wins the title, gets in CM Punk's face, and then exactly like I predicted.
He did predict it.
The story was not Damian Priest chasing down the World Heavyweight title alone. It was getting back at Drew McIntyre for stopping him every time he went to cash in. CM Punk puts his hands on Drew, catches Drew off guard. Here comes Damian Priest.
Well, he was being responsible.
You're right.
He didn't punch anybody in the face. He just hit him with an arm brace a little.
That's it. Just a little.
Yeah.
And then here comes Damian Priest right after that.
Bisexual Undertaker.
And cashes in. And now we have the Undertaker.
You have the Undertaker
as the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm a huge Damian Priest fan.
Even
back when he was Punishment Martinez.
Okay.
Back in ROH, and man, he deserved it.
He does.
He's deserved it. I think the Judgment Day, just in general, for the last year and a half, maybe even more, maybe the last 2 years,
they've been carrying Raw.
Wow.
Not that it's a bad show that needs to be carried, but they've been.
I mean, we watched Raw and sat here, and they've been in the first segment, the last segment, the 9 o'clock hour, the 10 o'clock hour.
It didn't even really hit me until I think the post-show, media scrum when Bayley was talking about Rhea Ripley and just saying how she respects all the work she puts in, all the segments. I didn't think about it. Yes, the Judgment Day are constantly throughout Raw. That must take a lot of work.
Oh, 100%. And it's not like they're just doing one. They're doing multiple things.
They're doing multiple things. They have their hands in so many different segments.
And you know what I really like about this, and we're getting on a little tangent about this, but they all have different stories and shit going on that kind of intertwine with each other because they are a group, but also they are their own solo competitors.
Yeah.
So you got the shit going on with Rhea, right? And then you got this going on with Damian Priest. And then you have this going on with Dom and Andrade. But it all plays a role into each other, which there was a really cool shot on Monday Night Raw I want to talk about.
Okay,
We're talking about camera views. I want to talk about that, but we'll get to that. Bro, they're just very well deserved. Yeah. Very well deserved.
I find it crazy that we've been talking about WrestleMania both nights so much and we haven't gotten to the night one main event.
Let's talk about it. We're here. Let's talk about it.
We haven't talked about the return of The Rock.
Oh, man.
The Rock's first match in... Well, technically he had the match at 32, but his last real match was, 11 years ago?
11, 12 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Listen. Can we talk about Aura?
That's Aura.
Let's talk about...
That's not Aura. That's Mana.
That's
Mana.
Mana. The Rock's entrance. This is the greatest character of his.
I might have to agree.
This version 10.0, this Final Boss version, is tremendous. And he's like he's really good. Like, in real life, Dwayne, great guy.
I'm sure.
Great guy. Does a lot for, people. But seeing this side of him, like him being this legit asshole, oh man. Cinema. He's great. I see why he's the world's highest paid actor. He's killed this role. He's killed this role.
He's been incredible.
Between that, Cody and Seth, the match was cool. And there was a really cool part for me. And it's when the ref is counting, and the Rock turns at him and says, "If you count again, I will fucking fire you." I don't fuck around.
I love that.
Yo.
I love that aspect of the match.
And during the match, because now it's kind of turned into a Bloodlines room match anyway.
Yeah.
At one point, the ref goes up to Cody and just says, "I'm sorry." Like, there's nothing I can do.
That was a tremendous performance from The Rock. That near fall for Cody and Seth hitting the dual pedigrees. Right before that, when Roman accidentally speared The Rock, his cell was outrageous. Just that, the face, the screaming, like, that really made me buy into just the pain that comes with a Roman Reigns spear.
God, that was so good. I also like him selling the Cody Cutter. I feel like that's the cleanest Cody Cutter I've seen, and it's so weird that it took The Rock, who hasn't been in the ring for 12 years, to give me that.
The Rock was on one.
He was on one. He was killing it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you can see he was very well committed to making sure that you were going to get the best out of him.
Yeah.
And he delivered.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Rock. You are still the people's champion.
He has the belt to prove it.
He has the belt to prove it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick. The Hall of Fame turned into
The Rock Show.
The Rock Show.
Muhammad Ali's induction specifically turned into some sort of endorsement of The Rock for some reason.
The Rock, and then, inducting his grandmother, which does make a lot of sense because she played a huge role, especially, like I said, for those golden era wrestlers.
Yeah.
To break into that market.
Yeah.
Right, in Hawaii, in the Polynesian community.
Yeah, Polynesian pro wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
So, very well deserved. There was some words exchanged between a fan and him.
Yeah, I did see that clip.
Back. Apparently, it's rumors, but the fan might have said something about his grandmother.
No, that's not cool.
So let's not do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that night one main event, and the night two main event, and the show overall. There's one more thing I want to talk about before we get off of WrestleMania, because we said it time and time again. This was a really good show.
It was
really enjoyable.
I really did enjoy WrestleMania this year.
Somebody finally got their WrestleMania moment. Who It's very well deserved. R-Truth. Tag team champion, Awesome Truth. A-Town Down Under is a SmackDown champion. The ladder match, though, was fun. I think DIY showed out. That table spot was sick. You can always count on Grayson Waller to go through a ladder. Are we recording? Oh, it's, okay. Grayson Waller go through a ladder.
Start that over.
Yeah. So, a man who like truly deserves his flowers, and I'm just happy he finally got them, is R-Truth. He's been doing a lot of good work, especially like with the Judgment Day, like we were talking about, and we got the payoff of him getting the Raw Tag Team Champions, and then A-Town Down Under, which I think you predicted.
I did predict them getting the SmackDown.
They were going to get the SmackDown titles. I'm happy that they're separated now. Man, it's just, I'm happy for that moment for him. And the ladder match itself was fun.
It was fun.
I'm always going to be a fan of ladder matches. And Johnny Gargano and Peter Dunne, as we like to call him, Pete Dunne.
Peter Dunne.
That table spot, the slingshot DDT.
I don't know what DIY and the New Catch Republic have against each other.
But you want more of it? Do you want
they
more?
were just going balls to the walls that match. Those two tag teams specifically were just destroying each other. I don't know if that's something they agreed upon prior to the match, but it was crazy to see.
They had to.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But something else that happened Saturday, earlier in the day, we were there live. NXT Stand and Deliver.
Yes.
Did you like the show?
I did like the show. It was very fun.
I know we both had a low light from that too.
Yeah.
Which happened to be the main event.
Yeah.
Because we wanted more out of it. Which they kind of, not retcon, but on NXT on Tuesday, Carmelo continued the feud. So I guess it's just one of...
Which I suppose is fine. I think it's just very similar to the Uso brothers match. Is just they had a lot going into it. There was a lot of story behind it. So when you go into the match, you feel like the match is going to be just as intense as the story leading into it. And then when you see that it's just a match, it was like, eh. This more so applies to Trick and Mello that it really was. There was nothing bad about it. There was nothing wrong about it. It was a fine match, but it was just a match. There was nothing. What's it called? Our friend Dante said that there was no sauce on it.
There's no sauce on it.
There was no sauce on it. There was nothing extra to bite into.
Right.
There was nothing extra to enjoy. They gave us the bare minimum, and that
of the match.
It's a disappointment when we're seeing the main event of Stand and Deliver.
For sure. I agree. I do have a favorite match from that show.
I think we might have the same favorite.
That triple threat, buddy. Oba.
Ooh.
Femi.
Dijak, he's been winning over more and more every time I see him. I said it before on a prior episode. Most underrated member of the WWE roster. Not NXT, WWE as a whole.
As a whole, is Dijak.
And
Josh Briggs did his thing.
He did his thing. He's somebody that I was kind of overlooking going to this match, but he did his thing.
Listen, big meaty men slapping meat is always going to get a pop out of me.
That's what I came to see.
Pause. But yes, Oba picking them up in the electric chair position. Both of them, though.
Insane feat of strength.
Like, it doesn't get much better than that.
You don't see that. That was insane.
You don't. It got a holy shit moment out of the crowd. Because it was that big. I thought that was great. I like Roxanne winning the title back. I know you're not huge on Lyra.
I'm not. So I was happy to see Roxanne walk away with the championship.
Do you think her heel gimmick is working?
No.
I see a lot of people saying, like, she just has an innocent face that she looks like I can't take her serious as a bad guy.
I think it has potential. Mm-hmm. She's in developmental. She's where she belongs to...
For now.
Yes, to work on that character. But right now, I don't think it's working yet. Quite yet.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We got the War Dogs winning.
Wolf Dogs.
Well, sorry. The Wolf Dogs.
Yes.
It is the Wolf Dogs. Winning at TakeOver.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Or Stand and Deliver. It's not even TakeOver anymore.
Oh,
Stand and Deliver.
I hate that they're not takeovers anymore.
And they did eventually drop the titles on NXT Tuesday night against Axiom and Nathan Frazier, who then were attacked by the Final Testament.
Yes.
Interesting.
Even more than that, I'm very interested to see Ivar.
Ooh, in Nova, right?
Nova. More meaty men.
Slapping me. They got that next show. That next show might be something.
It's gonna be something.
That next show might be something. But before we get out of here, I do want to talk about the Raw after Mania because it's a thing now. And we got a 45-minute promo between Cody and, the WWE Universe, and then Cody versus The Rock. Shout out to Triple H because he started off the show and presented Cody with a very, very touching video package.
It was very nice. 45 minutes uninterrupted is crazy.
It's crazy to think about, but it worked for them.
Yeah, that segment had a lot of awkward moments. I got what they're getting at with the trying to provide the visual of The Rock holding the championship, because clearly that's going to come back to play. I'm not sure if it's going to be SummerSlam or WrestleMania next year when we're going to deal with that.
About that.
Okay.
I saw on Twitter today that somebody brought up a good point. This wasn't just a play on The Rock holding the title. This is a play on when The Rock introduced the new WWE champion. The first person who came out was Cody and said, hey, let me just look at that title. Because this title is not going to be synonymous with you for the next 13 years, 15 years. It's going to be synonymous with Cody Rhodes. That is the longest, long-term storytelling I might have seen.
In this segment, did The Rock let Cody touch the title?
I don't remember if he did. I think, no, he didn't let him touch it. He let him look at it.
Okay.
He didn't let him touch it. The Rock took it a little further by saying, let me hold it.
I will say that's my issue with the segment. The how long the segment went, you can have your issues with The Rock really kind of dragged it on. He was very intentional with his speaking. But my issue is Cody Rhodes letting The Rock hold the title. I feel like within the lineage of the WWE Championship, within WWE as a whole, I can't imagine any other top guy letting, let alone like somebody else,
right?
Like a rival of theirs who beat them to a bloody pulp and insulted their mom, hold their championship immediately after winning it.
You let me hold yours.
The dialogue in that segment was
wild.
insane.
That was wild.
But I think that was hilarious. But I don't care for Cody Rhodes letting The Rock do that. I don't think that makes any sense for him.
Doesn't. I mean, the Raw after Mania was cool. Everybody was complaining that Jade's match was getting cut. Oh my God! How can I forget? We didn't talk about
Black women.
We did not. Real quick. Listen, I hate the fact that I don't think Asuka has a win on Mania yet.
She has the reverse Undertaker.
But that match, the match was cool.
It was.
Like I said, presentation is everything. So that
visual of them descending onto the stage was
just strong black women. Strong black women. I love that.
I love it. We love to see it.
We love to see it. It was amazing. It truly was. So with that being said, Jade had his squash match.
Yeah. That
a lot of people were like complaining about.
What do you expect?
They were complaining because they're like, what has she been doing for this 7 months that they haven't put her on TV? And I'm like, for me, I'm not concerned about that. I don't expect Jade to go out there, and yes, she's been training for however long, but I don't expect her to go out there and be putting on 20-minute classics.
I was gonna say, I don't care if she can put on like a 20-minute classic. That's not who her character is.
That's not who her character is, and that's not what's needed.
Yeah.
For her character.
At all.
So, she squashes Chelsea Green, and, man, I mean, that was cool. And we're just getting progression of new stories, continuing some stories.
Yeah,
I think
we're getting promotion for the WWE draft. We had appearances by both Ilya Dragunov and Roxanne Perez. Not like confirmed main roster debuts quite yet, but just to show that you're gonna start seeing new faces on WWE television.
Yes, there's this aspect they added. I feel like I didn't see a lot of people talk about it, but this in the sports aspect, they have people declaring for the draft.
Okay.
So, after Ilya's match, and it was like quick, but they were like, hey, Ilya is declaring for the WWE draft coming up in a couple weeks.
I actually didn't pick up on that.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is a really cool thing that they're adding. So now, it gives you an option of, do you want to stay in developmental? Do you want to leave your brand? I think that's really cool.
That is cool. I
like to
that.
add like eligible names like to the draft, and like it says they want to give it more of that feel. I think that's a really good thing to do.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Raw after Mania was cool. I'm excited to watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
But for us, this is, I mean, the last 2 weeks have been like a lot of stuff, right?
It has been.
We've been doing interviews. We've been doing so much stuff to help the page. But I will say, Friday we have something planned, big.
Yes.
Yes, and we're excited for you guys to be able to see it. And I'm pretty sure we'll put it up on the YouTube page, and we'll put it up on all our socials, and we'll plug those as we go on. With that being said, guys, that has been a podcast. I am DJ.
I am Derek.
This has been the 3D Wrestling Podcast, and I would like to bid you adieu, and I will say that by saying goodbye, good night, bang, too sweet, and we always end this with deuces, ooses. We will see you guys soon.
Peace.